Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ranting Atheist podcast. Today we'll be listening to the deconversion story of a former believer. She was raised in a very fundamental Christian home. In fact, a very popular Pentecostal movement that we know of, to the point that they also have their branches abroad so that the updates will keep being supplied from Nigeria. But what helped her to deconstruct her beliefs is that she started thinking for herself. She started thinking about life, started asking questions that were left unanswered. And today we get to listen to her story. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and other places podcasts are available. Then check out the show notes for links you may find useful, including our Discord server. Would love to have you there. So now let's go and listen to the deconversion story of MieMie. Hello MieMie, and you are welcome to the Ranting Atheist podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for agreeing to share your story with us.
You're welcome. I think it will be better for me. On a form of at least letting somebody know, instead of keeping it inside.
Yeah, that's the actual point of the podcast. Many people know say this thing is lamba, and you're not the only one that found that it is lamba. That's the big. That's the crux. The point of this whole podcast is to let people know, yes, you're not crazy. They are the ones that are crazy. That's it. So, MieMie, we would like to know a little more about you. Whichever one that you're comfortable sharing, your name, your age, location, what you do for a living, and any other thing you would like to add.
Okay, so I'll go with MieMie, but my age, I would say I'm younger than what most people think. That's all I can say. People
Gen
think.
Alpha.
People think. No, I'm in Gen Z. But people think I'm mid-20s because I work, because of my occupation. I won't say what I work as, but I had to jump some schools level. That's why I work now. But I'm younger than I sound.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're welcome. No need to disclose more than what you are comfortable with. Well, when it comes to religious matter, what do you currently identify as? Agnostic, atheist, this, you don't do label, irreligious, which one?
I would like to say I'll just say unbeliever. I thought sometimes I say agnostics, but I think I'm just I don't know. I just don't know. I prefer the unbeliever term to me.
So how would you describe, when someone says you're an unbeliever, what would you describe an unbeliever as?
I think for me, it's I don't believe in any religion, mostly Abrahamic religion, because I don't know every religion in the world, right? But I think mostly Abrahamic religion, I don't believe in it. Oh, right.
The ones that in your face.
Yeah, the ones that are in my face. But at the same time, I'm I like. Oh no. That one is so easy to not believe. I think
How do you argue against such people?
Did you?
And when they come, you don't know that guy. He turned to cats. This one.
I've never seen it in my face happen. So how do I know it actually happened? Rituals that you have, because my family, some of my family, my grandparents, they were involved in some things, right? How come not had ever happened in my life?
They will say it's happening, but you're not aware. Spiritual. It's spiritual.
Nigeria's economy. Or even during during the colonization.
And that's that. Whenever I say, they say the white people had their own juju too. I'm like, well, if you are calling machine gun juju, okay, I agree with you. and gun bullets and gunpowder. Hey, that is juju. No wahala.
Hey, the thing, everybody, some
Why?
people just want to have beliefs, to like explain the things that they see. Like,
It's
yeah,
not
I
our
think that's
fault.
why.
It's not real. It's how we've been raised. It's the society. There's always been so much reinforcement of that belief, not just
They
from
say
your parents,
Nigeria,
but people around you. You know,
they say Nigeria is secular. They are.
mm? On paper, only on paper. This is a ethno-religious feudal state. As who was the person that there was someone that mailed it to me, one of their stories. I remember that description. Ethno-religious feudal states. That is what we are here. There's
That
no
describes it. You're either Muslim
like
or you're Christian.
or you they do juju. Which one you they do? Oh God, I know they do anyone. They are always still shocked. I'm like, I don't tell you this thing before. It's like people they hear what. I no believe juju. I know they do your Jesus. I no believe your Allah. Yeah, familiar. Leave me. Let me breathe. Eh?
Oh my god. The
Yeah.
funny thing is that I don't live in Nigeria, right? I live, yeah. And the thing here, I feel like they accommodate all religions, but at the same time, you want to come and like push it into their government. They
Mm-hmm.
will just look at you like, sit down.
Yeah, Chris.
Like they will respect you, but like if you're like coming, they'll be like, it's my right to not want to believe in what you're believing. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody goes on their own. If it's salad that you're going to share food, it will be there. If it's like the church, they will come for your services, right?
Yes, now.
But come and tell them, they'll look at you like, where was your God in your own country? That God did not help you in your country. It's now
You,
you know
you
how
have to now run. You have to run to our country. Where that's it. It's so funny when they come and now be giving testimony in church of how they were granted visa. I'm like,
Oh my
excuse you?
god.
Excuse you? Yeah, no, the matter too long. But let us dive into your religious background. How were you baptized? Give us the full
Oh.
breakdown from your earliest memory to dates.
I'm a
How
deeper
did it all begin?
house. I'm a deeper. I was born and raised in deeper life. I still
Hi,
go. I know, yeah. And to make
Jesus.
it worse, I'm a woman. Can you imagine? And
Yes,
then
oh Jesus.
I still don't understand. And then I still don't understand why, women are
Wait,
still riding for that
hold up.
church.
Sorry for the interruption, but you say you still go in the abroad.
Yeah.
They have branches in the
They're
abroad.
everywhere. Oh, they're everywhere.
Lord.
Have you not heard of like GCK? You know,
Ooh.
they're everywhere.
Ah,
If you go to the website, you can find you find location. You will
hey.
think we are small, right? But like you will find a location. And then if you have a parent, trust me, my parents are willing to drive 1 hour, 2 hour journey to go to that location.
Oh.
But unfortunately for us, we live close, right? So if you go to the website, they had the GCK. What GCK is for people that don't know is deeper life. We have like what we call global um GCK, Global Crusade with Kumwe. Kumwe is the pastor of the church. Is
Oh,
the
that's
head of the church.
the name. That's the brand name that they
Yeah,
registered it
they
on.
do it every single month, every month for
Hmm.
literally 5 to 6 days straight.
You
I
know, they
think
do
4 to 6
updates.
days. Yeah. Oh my, and he went to India. Tell me why we
Oh.
were overfilled, and I'm like, this is like giving colonization vibes because I'm like,
Oh. Because
and at the
from
same,
there, they feel invite one Igbo pastor,
oh
yeah,
my
and
god,
just start
oh
it
yeah, they even
continues.
have Oingo, they even have white pastors.
It's the fucking OS. Like that colonization, that
Oh
Christianity
my
is
god.
so perfect for colonization.
And the thing that annoyed me is that, the thing that makes me, it's because people don't used to talk about Kumi. You know what scares me? Is the fact that he's so quiet. You don't know anything that
Mm-hmm.
goes on. Sexual abuse
Mm-hmm.
goes on in the school, physical abuse goes on. There was like a popular video that went out about like a kid in the school that experienced I think sexual abuse or some kind. I think what's the name now? But something happened. He literally swept that thing under a rug. The man never came
Mhm.
out talk about it. Anything that
It's how
happens
they
within church,
roll with the reputation of the
talk
church is
about
more
it.
important than your life.
I'm telling you, it's so sad. And the thing, I wish people talked more about him. Like the way they talk about, Adiboye, just that Adiboye is very
And
outspoken.
it's noise, you say it's only when he passes boundary in politics that people remember him.
Yeah.
Hey. That's what I've noticed. Like, is when they pass their boundary, be like, oh, you did here,
Oh,
you're mad.
but
That's what
like,
usually happens. And the
I
way it
grew up
was,
in the church.
is in the way. I'm like, what kind of weird ass way? This is Jehovah Witness, KDS manipulation vibes. Like, fuck you, man. Fuck you there. Oh, crazy. So,
Right?
yeah, give us the memories of deeper life, the indoctrination
But
itself.
apparently I grew up there. I don't know. I always hated the church. I think from
We
like
are
a
near
young age.
one buzzing sound, and the year one born. Okay, that stops.
Oh no. I think I always hated the church growing up because I always feel like women are always I was still a Christian then, right? But I always hated
Yeah.
the church because I felt like as a woman, I'm like, why did every time I have to escape? Like I love dressing up, but then I'm like, no makeup. And then I think all the type of stuff I didn't like think about it. I was like, okay, it's just the superficial. Like all that matters is, in the heart. But I always hated the retreats. I always hated the fact that I always have to
Ooh.
go to church, Monday Bible study. If I'm lucky, I have to follow my parents to Tuesday workers meeting. And then sometimes you
Wow.
might have Wednesday meeting. And then Thursday for sure you're going to have revival hour. Sometimes on Friday, you might have workers meeting, leaders meeting, whatever. My parents are pastors. No, women are not allowed to preach. There is no women pastor in that church. You are only women's leader. But then,
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday, because I joined choir, I have to do choir meetings sometimes. And then Sunday, obviously, you have to do church. I know what's the worst part. You might do early morning church service, right? Then you might
Mm-hmm.
sometimes have evening church
You now have
service
to
of like,
stay.
you have to
Hmm.
stay. And then to make
Jesus.
matters worse, they're not having this. Like, I want to cry, but because I work, that's why I'm able to escape a lot of it, right? But then,
Yeah.
as I was saying, I grew up. I always hated the work service. I feel like I never get a single thing hearing Kumuyi's message. I've heard it my entire life. Tell me one topic. I always write. I don't remember anything because I feel like that man never connected to me, right? But I like
Mm.
the campus messages. I love some youth pastors because at that time they were able to relate to us, right? And then I gained friends, right? So I did, and then we'll now talk about the struggle of growing up in the church, especially as a pastor kid. Oh my god,
Mm.
they will not expect, especially as a woman. And to make matters worse, I'm not a slim. I don't have a slim figure. I'm like West African. I have like a curvy body, so you can't just wear anyhow type of thing because they're gonna
Yeah.
sexualize you. My old time growing up, I always hated that I was gonna say something about the way I dress. And I'm like, I used to think it was my fault because I was not slim like others people. And let me tell you, those people, they will always look, if you're lighter skin, or
Mm.
you're more slimmer, that's the beauty standard. Okay?
Mm.
They won't say it,
So
but that's the people that mostly,
if you are darker skin, you are more scrutinized.
it's not even if you're darker skin, or like you have thicker body, so, and you're gaining weight. And the thing to make matter was I was growing as a kid. I was literally 10, 11, 12, 9. You are talking about my body. Are you normal? Like,
Uh,
that's the thing. I'm like somebody told me some of them used to give pedo vibes. It's always those pot belly pastors. And I'm like, it's not
mhm.
making sense now that I'm grown up. Like, you're giving pedo vibes, right? But it's not even that. I think apart from that, I always hated the fact that it look weird. The way we dress, the way we are giving, and they'll be like, oh, we shouldn't drawing peer pressure of the world to dress a certain way,
The
look a
world.
certain way. Yeah. And then I'm like, you know, sometimes I used to ask myself, we look weird. Like, why don't other Christians look physically appealing? They look more look together. They look more put together. I mean, now Deeper Life is trying to catch up. Like,
They look physically appealing without being sexualizing or
without
be
being
all those
exactly no,
without
without being
being
sexualized.
overtly.
No, and they look more modest, in my opinion. Right? I'm like, are you trying to tell me those people are going to go to hell? But I think as a kid, I was like, it doesn't make sense. And to make matters worse, my I won't say names, but my family, well, my family, my mom especially, deodorant sin, perfume sin. I have perfume, I have deodorant now. She still likes to give me
You have
sermons
to
about
hide
it.
it.
Like, I don't hide it anymore. I'm like, listen, it's not a thing.
I
I don't want to smell
I
bad.
was so there's a doctrine
Imagine.
against it.
I don't know. I think apparently, I think maybe Pastor Kumi, don't quote me, sha, but I think maybe him or somebody in the church said that, there's this thing about, I don't know why this. I
May we
think there's
smell
this thing
common
about
use.
hair.
May we smell that in suit, whether it's in
Oh my
the
God.
ooze.
In the hot sun in Nigeria during retreat. Oh my God. But not gonna lie.
Because I have some colleagues here,
But
they smell
you know how
Deeper
I
Life,
knew, and the thing is that I think once you know how I knew that I need to start with the other. It was when I was a kid. I was in high school. This pastor's wife came to me and was telling me, like, giving me, because she was waiting for my mom, but my mom was not around, and she was giving me talk about how, like, I smell bad. And I was like, and yeah, I honestly, I was not even like, I was not discouraged, right? I was like, okay, this one is making sense. I think once you use deodorant, once you use, my dear, there's nothing wrong in it. Like, it's little things that, like, I have to start to get aware, like, why should it be a sin? Like, where in the Bible is it a sin? Because those women in the Bible, Esther, those women, those queens, they wore makeup. They use expensive oils. They beautify themselves, right? And I know people are gonna be like, oh, like Deeper Life now, they're dressing up. I'm like, okay. What about people back then? We suffered.
Back then,
Being
everything
a
just they change
pastor's
now.
kid, I suffered. And
You
then,
be under scrutiny.
oh my God. But at the same time, I still like the services, right? I still like some of the friends I made. I still like, honestly, I like retreats back then in Nigeria. In Nigeria, it was so fun going because I don't know. I like the vibe of camping. I like the
Okay.
vibe of like, but I didn't like the preacher. I always slept through everything. I don't remember if you ask me a single message. Even now, the last message I heard was, I don't remember a single thing. It's like it comes out one year, goes out the other year, right? But I like the experience, right? Because you're going for a long journey. But I hated the fact that it was long. Or are we learning absolutely the same bullshit over and over again every
Yes,
single
now
time?
just to remind you in case you go forget.
Yeah,
In
and I
case
think
you go forget.
growing up, is this like I think Deeper Life have this, but everybody outside, even outside Deeper Life, like in Nigeria, they know Deeper Life like all the other down type of thing. Like, why are we having this stereotype? Because the moment somebody find out I'm Deeper Life, it's like I don't even like to say it because I feel so embarrassed, right? And then, but growing up, I was like, it's
Oh,
okay, it's not a big deal. Huh?
I was
So
like,
I was like,
oh,
yeah, because people have this idea of like, you don't have like, back then they used to have TV. I'm thankful to God that it has passed because me, I like Disney Channel. But I
it's how
think,
Christians are forgetful. Like, you need to ask, why was TV banned then and not banned now? What changed?
right?
Like,
What changed?
nobody is holding the man to task. Like, yo, what changed? You need to explain. But everybody's, daddy.
But also like some stuff were going on in the church, like way they discipline their pastors, some of like the things that go on, even the way they treat women, right? They treat women like, we are not even a citizen. Because like assuming we're not human beings, that's what I'm trying to say. they say that it's a sin for women to be pastors, right? I'm like, okay, it's in the Bible, but I think that's why I started to have a little fault with the Bible, right? And then they go on like, our main purpose in this life is to, yes, going to school is okay, but it's to get married and have kids. Did I ever tell you that? And then but sin, dating is a sin. Okay, having lustful attraction, being horny is a sin. So I used to pray against it, right? And you know how people get married in the church? I think when I was growing up, like, I asked my mom to like, oh, a man will have to have like you. Back then, I think now it has changed, but a man will like you, and then he goes to the pastor, and then the pastor tells the marriage committee. Marriage committee comes and tell the woman, and then the woman like oh, pray about it. You get married. It's like get married in the church. You do print counseling, you do like tests and all that stuff, right? I'm like, that's scary. Don't date. Wow. I know you do courting, but that courting is not even a courting because somebody's gonna be a middleman inside you, right?
What the fuck? Chaperone. When I hear, I was like, what horror am I hearing? What horror?
Yeah. I mean, now people, and you're not allowed to get married outside. That was back then. Now it's like, okay, you're allowed to get married outside, but it's only for men.
They are running inside. Men they are running away.
They are running away.
Yeah, they run. That's why they have to lose.
Or they marry the most beautiful women or the lighter women in the church. Then the thing is that lighter skin, and the thing is that what's the what was I going to say? The thing is that women now women can go to the marriage committee. You people don't need to go to the marriage committee first. You can talk within yourself and all that stuff, right? But men can marry outside and try to convert the woman inside. They say it's very hard for women to marry outside and try to convert the man to come into the church because men are the leaders. So I have hardly seen a woman. I think there are people that do it, but it's very like rare because you have to fight head and tail.
But wait, correct me around. The outside they mean is other Christian denominations.
Other Christian denominations. Let me tell you, the eyes of deeper life, everybody else is a sin. Is a sinner. Redeem, excuse me. You are saying we are wearing hearing. What do you mean you're dancing in the church? Now people are trying to be like, oh, they are lenient. Please, I have never danced in deeper life in my life, except if like during end of the year. What do you call it?
Really
watch night service.
Hymns.
It's all hymns. We do praise worship. Oh my God! I used to be very jealous of Redeem. What do you call? What's the
Winners?
Winners, yeah.
Those ones, they wear trousers. We don't get issues with trousers. Now Redeem, they get issues with trousers.
Oh my God! But I used to be jealous of everybody in that place. Anytime somebody, I'm like, oh my God, you don't know what God has done for your life. You don't know what God has done for your life. And then I think growing up, I still like attending because of my friends. I still like coming to church. Then I was very young. I moved abroad with my family, and then you see different things. When I tell you in high school, I was the outcast. But I don't know how I endured. I mean, I did make friends because
was it your dressing or what exactly?
I feel like it was my dressing and my thoughts. I think it was my dressing first of all, and my thoughts of like leaves and stuff. But abroad they don't like discriminate. You don't feel. I think it was just in me because I still had friends. Nobody really cared about the way you dress. If you dress anyway abroad, everybody has different fashion sense. Doesn't mean like you can't dress modestly or whatever. No, I think it was just the way it looks so bad. Like I feel like I didn't take time to look good or try to be open to other people's ideas or beliefs or ideas of life. Right? I was very like
having conversations.
Oh my god, what do you mean you're dating? Like, what do you mean you're having? I don't know. I think to me it was all those type of things that was
The
all the
culture
thoughts in
shock.
my head. Culture, yeah. So, but like people were very open, and the way we used to talk about life, I'm like, this sounds nice. This sounds better than always going to church, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like this girl is like a Christian. Are you gonna tell me this woman is going to hell? Are you going to tell me like my friends are going to hell? Them not going to like or believing the same way I do. But anyways, that was like the superficial part of it. I think as I was growing older, I was thinking like about life. And I think I was still reading my Bible, right? But then I was thinking like this life is weird. You know, like if God is all knowing, is all good, you know, why is it that people are suffering? Because I'm like, if God knew the beginning and the end, and he knew that people are going to sin from Adam and Eve, like, why did you create it? We look like a joke to you. I think that's where I started to be like, well, I'll push it back at the end of my head. I'll be like, if you don't judge God, you don't know God is works in mysterious, but I'll still go to church. I'll still attend, the regular service. I don't like the main church. I like the campus, the youth. Because I feel like that's where you can openly speak your mind, but you're still limited. Not just say all you want to say. And at the same time, I was like, some of you, as I was growing up, like some of you, I was like, why is it that everything's about marriage? Like I don't
That
understand you want
seems to
to
be the end game.
end game. And I was like, why am I 14, 15? You people are telling me to start praying for my husband, and then you're inviting me to like singles conference. I'm like, I was like,
Are you
this is not
serious?
making sense. Oh yeah. From youth, they will start pushing that thing to you. Somebody will get married, they'll be like, oh, you people should start praying for your spouse. Oh, and then it's like a rat race. I mean, sorry. It's like a rat race. So, like, see who can, like, get married quicker, get married younger. Somebody can get married 21, 22. We
These are
batter
the
eye.
things that create the pick-me's. What the fuck?
And the thing is that to me, there's nothing wrong in it, but I feel like I was being rushed into it at a young age, right? And then I'm
Yes.
like, and I'm like, okay, I understand that, but I pushed it aside, right? I was like, that's the least of my concern. So I think for me, where I was trying to, is when I was like, what do you mean, people are going to go to hell? As I was like meeting new people from different religions, different countries, different backgrounds. Like you can't like most of my friends are not from Nigeria. Most of my true friends, right? They're not from Nigeria. And I'm like, you can't tell me this is somebody's culture. Like Indians, some of them are Hindu. I shouldn't tell me this person's gonna go to hell. I'm like, and some of them like are atheists. Some of them are Muslim. And I was like, okay, I don't like their religion, but I can't imagine these people going to hell. Like, I don't try to convert people because I feel very ashamed. Even when I go out, I remember I still go out like obviously because I still attend the bar, like right. You still do evangelism. Now I stop. The moment I stop believing, I stop doing it. I find a way to escape. But I used to do like no, Jehovah Witness will knock on your door. Like I will do it. We all. Do you know how scary our pamphlet is? You know the title of the beginning of the pamphlet? Hellfire. Oh my god.
Wow.
And then, oh my god, wallahi. I don't know how I did it, and I was so proud of it because I was like, okay, I'm going to win souls for Jesus. But I would never
I
show it
always
to my
found it
friends.
weird. I don't know. Throughout the time, I found I struggled with it. Like, you just gotta meet someone, meet them out. I kind of aspired like I could do it, but I felt weird about it. I kind of feeling like I wish I could, but I can't.
I know. I was like, in my head, I was like, it's okay if I look embarrassing. It's okay if I like. This is for freaking white, the freaking Muslims. Then they were not engaging like theological stuff. I don't know theology. I'm freaking 14. What do you mean? And when they will like challenge me, I'll go to the back of my pastor. I'll be like, I know this one. And then like I would be I was very, but then I never told my friends. I never preached for them, and because I'm like, these people have never once tried to. No, these people have never once tried to convert me to their side. Like they're the most
disrespectful.
Very. So I'm like, these people are the nicest human beings I've ever known. Why would I go and do that? And I'm like thinking like, these people are gonna go to hell. And I'm thinking, and you know, at a young age, it does like it mentally fucks you up because like you're at the same time I'm scared of hell. At the same time, and I think growing up, I already started to hate life because I was like, this life is depressing. Everybody is suffering. Inflation is rising. And then coronavirus happened. And I think that's where people are now being like, oh God, Jesus is coming. You know, Jesus is coming, you need to be ready. And they'll be like, oh, and then they will not give me passages of the end times or Revelation. Then I was very scared. I was literally scared. I think that's when I started to be like, you know what? Let me read this Bible. Because I think somebody said something. I was like, well, I don't agree with the way you phrased it about the end time. I think that's the first time, like I know the Bible, I know the stories, but I think that's the first time I genuinely decided to like read it from the beginning. I haven't finished it still because I think when I stopped. That's when I started to like deconvert. I started from. I already know the New Testament. I know that New Testament like mad. I started from the Old Testament because that's where part I don't really understand. And I think that's when my questions started to come out. I was like, what do you mean? In my head, I was like, okay, I think in my head, God is all knowing. That was the beginning from the end. And I was like, why did he like create this world, right? And then I'll go into the Bible and I'm like, where did the other people come from after Abel and Cain? And then I'll not keep on going. I'll not be going. I'll be like, you know, this Pharaoh guy, why are you hardening his heart to do this when you know full well these people are suffering? And then I'm like, you know, God too was also a bitch to Egyptians people, to the Egypt, because there are people that are going to suffer the what do you call it?
Repercussions.
Repercussions of you trying to save Israel. And then I'm like, Israel people too. I think Israel people too. I was like, God, you're being very biased because you're saying only those people. What about the people that have, you know, during that time that God did, like the sons are gonna die, the firstborn. I'm like, isn't that murder? You are being a genocide, the author of genocide, and when during the church, and I was reading as we're going to church, I was like, this is, and they'll try to like be like, oh, you know, these people are going to sin anyway. How do you know? Like, how? And I was like, this God doesn't sound like, it sounds like a very biased, partial God. You are going to save your Abraham. You are going to save, those people in the Bible. You're going to save like Jacob, Isaac, even though they do something bad. But because you have this special, partial love for them, you're going to save them. But the rest, I know you punish them, but I'm like, punishment did not really do anything. You killed the rest of other people that did the same thing. And I think that's where I started to be like, okay, if I was in the shoes of those women that, you know that Bible passage that God said that if she get raped, you know, she should, I don't know the specific part, but if she get raped,
she should marry after collecting 50 pieces of silver. Deuteronomy 22, 28, and 29.
And I was like, I was like, okay. And then some of the laws about like the way women should behave. I'm like, okay. I don't think if I was a woman in that time, I feel like I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good person. If God
Go
knew,
tough.
I'm telling you, and if God, if why did God create women? Are we meant to be slaves to men? Like, I think
Good
that's
question.
where my. And then I'm like, why is God a man? I think that's why I'm like, and people will say, oh, God is not a man. You see, it was actually during that time that I was being on my feminist type of anger. Then I was like, wait a minute. And then people would be like, because I used to ask questions during the campus church, right? Then they'd be like, oh, that's Old Testament. Old Testament was during the time of slavery. Because I was asking why is there slavery? Like those people, are they meant to be like slaves? Is that their whole purpose in life? Because if God is greater, God could have made changes to not have slavery. But then they were like, oh, humans, we brought about the whole slavery stuff. I was like, okay, I've not even thought of about the black people that were slaves. Because in my head, I was like, oh no, it was not the white people that brought religion, that brought Christianity, I mean. I was like, okay. But then when I went to the New Testament, I'm like, that's even worse. To me, it's even worse because people try to use this example of if you have a child, and they do something wrong, and you've continuously corrected them, they will end up going to hell willingly by themselves. I'm like, but I wouldn't take my child and burn them alive if they do something.
You're supposed to be a father. Why will I burn my child? The fuck? Even small candle burns.
Yeah, I'm like, I might correct them, I might punish them. What do you mean? Everybody needs to accept Jesus. What about people that never knew about Jesus? Then I'm like, what about the people that because you say it's better for somebody to not know Jesus than for them to know Jesus and to not accept Jesus. I'm like, what's that the point of you not telling them about Jesus?
You are putting them in trouble. Let them be innocent in their ignorance. But no, you had to bring your fucking Jesus.
So I think that's why I stopped in that Old Testament. Like New Testament, New Testament. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. I think that's why I'm like, this slavery. I think that's why I started reading the history of like all those African Americans, about how they came from Africa. And like, use the Bible. In the Bible, God said to obey your slaves. You trying to tell me I was good? Like, if God, that means God would have known that those people would have been slaves. God would have known that all these things would have been happening. And then I think that's why I started to think in the bigger picture. This coronavirus, God knew. This was his way of punishing us. Isn't that... Doesn't that sound sadistic? Doesn't that sound... That doesn't sound like a loving God. And then people will be like, oh, it's humans that decided to do it. It's humans that decided to create coronavirus. Who created humans? And then I started to ask those questions like, oh my God, I can't believe this religion. I can't, like, as a feminist, I first of all say, I can't believe this religion because it doesn't benefit women.
At all.
Why is it that every single thing is like, even the idea of God is a E? I think that's how, like, I can't even believe Muslim because Muslim, that one is, you don't even need to argue. It just sounds stupid.
They're not even
It just sounds stupid. And then, like, I'm like, wow, wait. Oh my God, like, I think that's where I had to, like, stop reading the Bible because, like, the more I read it, the more I just started losing that faith. Well, I did not read. I hear where people say, oh, it's because of social media. Excuse me. Everybody, I didn't even use social media for any religion. I didn't listen to anybody on social media then. I was still young. I was not even into social media. I think it was only like YouTube. On YouTube, all I was watching just drama. I was like, nobody. I don't have that much close friends apart from Christian friends. I only had Christian friends. Like Christian personal friends. Those ones that were Muslim, those were like school friends, right? But I'm like, they don't even. I was just like, oh my god, like, it sounds so bad. This generally sounds so sad. And when the more I go to church, the more I'm like, are these the people that are going to heaven? Because I started to think, heaven will be so sad if some of you people will go to heaven. All my good friends, all the people that are not living the deeper life Christian version or the Bible Christian version, like, what do you mean they're all going to go to hell? Because if these are the people going to heaven, these people have never done any good. Like, what do you mean the goodest of the goodest people will go to hell for not believing in Jesus? If the people that have never done a single thing to help the poor, the people are always collecting offering. You know, pastors, like, they don't collect they don't collect payment, they don't collect salary. It's only the head and I think a few heads that collect salary.
Oh,
You know how many donation services we collect each time in Sunday? We have normal offering for our we have normal offering for our local church. We have normal offering for our state church. We have offering for the national church. We have not even had offering we then have offering for Nigeria. We have offering for the DLICC project. Do I know what that project is? No. And then we have offering for every single time GCK, because now they have GCK every single month. Like,
just good business.
You people are correct thieves. I'm so glad I've never given a single of my it is only my parents' time that I'll collect up. Like, mom is telling me to be giving to I say, excuse me. I used to tell her I need to bring my wallet. They like.
That tight was very tight to pay.
I'm telling you. And then I'm like, this whole, like, most of the people in the palais, we're poor. We're not poor. Like, we're not, not everybody is poor. Not everybody is poor. Most people are not doing well. In this inflation time, especially in Nigeria, how come we have never had like a thrifting store? Or we have never had like a homeless shelter type of stuff happen?
Heaven is the good. Other one is peripheral.
How come we've never had food donation services, clothes donation services? Because they surely do have that money. How come we have money for why is the pastor having bulletproof car? Or it's not even bulletproof, or even having bodyguard? I know people say,
in case Holy Spirit is no work, you need to have backup. In case Holy Spirit go smoke small loud. You need to have backup.
We do. Oh my god. I think that's where my head started to be like twisting. Like, I think when I started to let that question from the back of my head come to the front, I was like, these people, this is a good business. Oh, I started to be like, this is.
What year was this?
I think I started to disbelieve the whole of 2023. I think that's why I just let it all be like, okay, I don't believe. But from 2021 was building up. I think 2022 was like, okay. Then 2022 was like, you know what? Stop fighting it. Just let it go. But the thing is that, what was I going to say? The thing is that for me, it was sad. I already hated the fact that I exist. I already hated life. Christianity was just like my comfort, and like suicide is a sin. It's just like there's a purpose for your life on earth. The minute I stopped believing, I wanted to commit suicide. I literally sat in the car. And then like there is a garage and I closed it. And I was like, what if I just turn this car on? I just die by carbon monoxide. Because I was like, there's no point. This life is meaningless. The God, I just realized the God that I used to, it does not exist. I don't like the fact that it exists. I don't even like the way I look. I don't like anything about life. What's keeping me? Why am I even existing, right? I feel like I just went into a very depressed slump because you cannot speak this out to anybody. You're gonna get in trouble, right? But I think I decided not to do it because I'm like, even though life does not have a meaning, there is other fun aspect of my life. Like, don't I want to see how my life like turn out? Like, I still had like a little bit of aspiration, and I'm like, you know what? This isn't good. I have a reason to enjoy life. I have other things to aspire, right? And my friends, it would be so sad. My friends, to my family, if I just go, you know.
Yeah,
like even though
those are legit reasons.
and then but then it was very lonely. Like I literally was, because I couldn't speak this out. The only type of friends I had were Christian friends. And those people have come to realize they're not really friends. They're only friends because you're a Christian and you're in the same church.
Yeah.
When I started to think about it, these people are not normal sometimes. I only have one Christian friend, but she's not really from the life. The only one person that I know. And then as I started to like go out with my coffee, I started to go like I work, and then I meet I go to different hobbies, right? I meet people of different, and it helps that I'm not even in Nigeria. I meet people of different variation of life. And these people are not married. Some of them are married, some of them have kids. Some of them, all of them are just living life. They don't care about religion. There is no rat race. They're just exploring life. And like when I tell them about like me deconverting from religion, some of them are they were like, oh yeah, religion is shit. Like religion is bullshit. I'm like,
Speaking long enough.
I even met one that is like a Korean. Korean Catholics are a different version of crazy. And then she was like, I was like, oh my god, like, oh, I'm not alone. But then I have not met the African. I've not met any African like unbeliever yet. I was like, oh my god, wow, like, these people are. And it's even like in real life, it's even helpful that they're all living life. It's not just like life in like thinking about like relationship or life thinking about this. They're just living, going out, having fun. I think it was now when I went on Twitter. I think no, I didn't even go on Twitter. I hate Twitter. Everybody on Twitter is mad because every time they're always fighting. I think it was I was on YouTube. I was not looking for like different atheist podcasts, but I was like, oh my god, they're always white. I do enjoy them though. I won't lie, I do enjoy them. And then I went on Twitter and I was like, oh, and I not Twitter, Spotify. That's where I met you on the podcast. And I was like, and then I saw like in your handle, the caption after the voice, the
show notes.
the show notes. I think I went on Twitter. Like, oh, everybody is plenty.
With the Chris, with the
yeah, I think that's where I was like, oh, I'm not the only person in this life. This life is not even that bad. I think to me, I'm still so like, it's so sad people are still, they will never live to their full potential because of religion. The way some of my friends are talking, I'm like, marriage is nice, relationship is nice, but it shouldn't be your end goal. It shouldn't be like the only thing you look forward out of life. I think I always say it, and I'm like,
the end all be all is well, like, you don't mind, you still have your life ahead to live.
And I've started to realize that some of these people are. I'm like, if we are all going to go to heaven, as people say, and we are judging everybody by the standard of deeper life standard, the Bible standard, everybody's going to heaven. Everybody's going to hell. Because you people are gossipers. You people talk
Hey.
about everybody. Let me not even talk about
Hey.
if you divorce, if you're experiencing
Hmm.
abuse in your marriage, abuse in your family, abuse in your, do you think you have help? No.
Hmm.
Let me not even talk about
It's
the pastors.
endure.
And to be the fact that I'm a pastor's kid, what's the word? I hear people's stories through, like, people come to
Your
the
parent
pastors and tell
discussion.
them, no, it's not, oh yeah, and on their phone calls. I'm like, people are not good pastors though. Some of you pastors are talking shit about your members. Some of you are like, oh, we need to be increasing in the size. Don't you sometimes wonder why your size in the church is decreasing? So you sometimes look and like, okay, maybe I am the problem. I don't know.
It's
I
the
only
devil.
told.
The devil caused it. It's the devil.
Oh my god! And I know I'm only saying superficial stuff. There's still like the theological aspect of it, but it's like that's like personal stuff to me, right? But
Yeah.
a part of me is like, it's not good the way, like, people still need religion. I don't think religion should be banned. I feel like some people like to have it as a coping mechanism for life. What I want people to know is that you shouldn't stop living life. But you shouldn't stop living life, and you should not judge people just because they're not part of religion. Not everybody's going to like your church. Not everybody's going to like
Mm.
Christianity. Not everybody's going to like, being your Muslim ideology. And not everybody might even like, especially those entities are always like very, oh, everybody that believe is stupid. Not everybody's going to like your own belief or
Those
your
kind of
belief.
yeah.
Yeah, like, everybody has different opinions. To say your one belief is the only way, that's where you are mad. I mean, because there is no
Very
one
mad.
way to live. There is
It's
no
very
one way
mad.
to live.
That's
And
Jesus is the way,
anytime,
the truth, and the life. That is arrogance.
yeah, very, very, very sad. And anytime somebody say that, even like Mormons, I feel like Mormons, their one is weird. It's even worse. Mormons, Jehovah Witness. I've not even talked about the Amish. The Amish. Oh my goodness.
These ones
Muslims
are
are in that chokehold.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Those ones are a different parallel universe.
I just hate when people are. I just hate, yeah. I just hate when people are very extreme in their beliefs. I think, and when you tell your kids, either you believe or you don't believe. Like, I'm still scared to say out. Number one, because I love my parents and I still have respect for them. Or if I ever say it, what we start in this house, and like,
And
I'm
the issue
scared.
is me. I feel it's best when you are fully on your own, separate. That's all.
Yeah, on your own
That's
separate. Like,
they are not feeding you. They don't have financial leverage on you. So do your worst. You are the one that's going to lose.
exactly. Like, I just hate when parents are like, either believe this religion or you swear. That means you're not a good parent. But I see some of my colleagues. Some of my colleagues, yeah, their parents, their parents are Christians. They are not. Their parents don't care whether they are not Christian or not. Their parents still love them. One of them is a lesbian. Oh my god. And the parents are like very happy about it. They're like, oh, it's not even matter who, as long as you're happy in your life, you're living a successful life. It doesn't matter. I'm like,
In our environment now, if that will happen for Nigeria.
Jesus. I hate when like all those Africans will come from their country, they'll come here, they'll have like, oh, lesbianism and gay is normal. They'll have like, oh, we bind you by fire. Every time in summer, during the summer, because that's why people like to wear shorts, they like to, like, dress like for the weather. Every time they're always going to make a sermon about how now it's warm, Now people are dressing worldly. Now people are being expressive about their carnality, their immorality.
Mhm.
Like, oh my God, people, it's okay. And the people that judge the most, they're the ones that have more skeleton in their cupboard. All of my friends. Some of those people that I'm like, oh, you don't have you're not as crucial. Some of you have bad character, some of you are fornicating. You have secret loss, but you
Maybe
need
they are the ones that pray before they knock. Crazy is really crazy.
And the misogyny, the misogyny is too much. Men will tell you you are lower, and in your face, you will accept it and swallow it. Every time I see it in the church, I'm like, people don't have backbone. And the people that are married, right? They are cute, but sometimes I'm just like, you don't even look happy in your, like, you don't even have that joy, like, of like life to me. It's like, I don't see people just chill. God, I used to say, do you think God wants you to be suffering? Do you think God wants you to look ugly? Do you think God wants you to not look ugly, but like not take care of your body, not take care of yourself? Do you think God wants you to know? Do you think if God did not want you to be gay, did not want you to be lesbian, why did he create you that way?
It's not God. It's not God. It's the people.
They will say it's not God.
It's not God though. Why will God make you gay? Are you mad? It's the devil. It's influence of the world.
It reminds me of the gay. I even went to Deeper Life school. I went to every Deeper Life school or Deeper Life owned schools, like not the some of the primary secondary school. Primary preschool all owned by Deeper Life member. I'm still surprised I came because this has been in your head since the day you were born. Is Jesus or no way? Oh my God. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, Mary, it's been awesome coming to share your story with you. I really enjoyed it. It's been
hopefully I meet Sasha.
Making it out of that level of indoctrination is fucking awesome. It's really awesome. When I hear such stories, I'm just like, you guys were in deep. Me, I was the unserious Christian. But it took me years to finally get out. I was the one that we have the temporary gifts, then go off and sin and forget again. Maybe I was just yeah, so I will assume that you don't want to be found online. Navi?
No.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to be found. I am found in Christ.
You explain that, I know evidence. Yeah, so really awesome. Thank you for sharing your story to us.
If everybody not the whole summary is like this life, there's no meaning. Please go and enjoy it. There's no point in you suffering. Everybody will die. You're not gonna do something you like.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Please subscribe up Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and other places podcasts are available. Then check out the show notes for links you may find useful, including our Discord server. Would love to have you there. Have a great week, and I will catch you on the next one.